In the heart of ancient Macedonia, under the shadow of towering mountains and amidst the bustling streets of Pella, the story of a boy destined to change the world begins. Born in 356 BCE to King Philip II and Queen Olympias, Alexander was not just any child. His lineage was royal, but his destiny was to become legendary. Amidst the backdrop of an empire on the brink of unparalleled expansion, his journey from prince to one of history's greatest conquerors unfolds. On a summer day in 356 BCE, Alexander was born into a world of power and ambition. His father, Philip II, was a king with visions of a unified Greece under Macedonian rule, and his mother, Olympias, was a princess from Epirus with divine claims. Alexander's birth was marked by omens and prophecies, foretelling a life of greatness and conquest. Raised in the rugged landscapes of Pella, he was heir to a lineage that traced back to the mythic heroes of Greece and the kings of Macedon. At the age of 13, Alexander's education took a turn towards the extraordinary, when Aristotle, the era's greatest philosopher, became his tutor. In the nurturing environment of Mysa, Aristotle exposed Alexander to a world of knowledge, from ethics and politics to science and art. This education laid the foundation for Alexander's approach to leadership, warfare, and governance. It was here, amidst the discussions and debates, that Alexander's curiosity and intellect were honed, shaping the mind of a future king. In the summer of 338 BCE, the stage was set for a confrontation that would decide the fate of Greece. The Greek city-states, led by Athens and Thebes, formed an alliance to counter the rising Macedonian power under Philip II. Amidst this brewing storm, young Alexander stood by his father, ready to face the formidable coalition. The Battle of Chaeronea was more than a mere military engagement. It was a fight for supremacy, a battle that would determine the leader of the Greek world. The Battle of Chaeronea marked a turning point in Greek history. As dawn broke, the Macedonian army, with Philip at its helm and Alexander leading the cavalry, faced the allied Greek forces. The battle was fierce, with both sides displaying valor and strategic prowess. However, it was the Macedonians who gained the upper hand, thanks to their disciplined phalanx and the audacious cavalry charge led by Alexander. At just 18, Alexander showed a glimpse of his military genius, breaking through the enemy lines and turning the tide in favor of Macedon. The victory at Chaeronea was decisive, not only in terms of the battlefield, but also in its political aftermath. Macedon's supremacy over Greece was now undisputed, and Alexander emerged from his father's shadow as a formidable leader and tactician. This battle was a prelude to his future conquests, showcasing his tactical acumen and leadership qualities that would one day lead him to create one of the largest empires in history. The Battle of Chaeronea thus marked the beginning of Alexander's journey from prince to one of the greatest military minds the world has ever known. In 336 BCE, at the height of his power, King Philip II's life was cut short in a moment that would change the course of Macedonian history. During his daughter's wedding, a symbol of unity and strength, he was assassinated by one of his own bodyguards. This act of betrayal plunged the kingdom into shock and mourning, leaving a vacuum of power at a critical juncture. The motives behind the assassination are hidden in mystery, with theories ranging from personal vendetta to political intrigue, highlighting the precarious nature of royal life. In the chaotic aftermath of his father's death, Alexander, not yet 20 years old, ascended to the Macedonian throne. His claim was swift and uncontested, thanks in part to his decisive action against potential rivals and the loyalty of key Macedonian nobles. Alexander's ascension was a clear sign of his formidable will and the foresight of Philip II, who had prepared his son for this moment through rigorous education and exposure to governance and military campaigns. With the throne now his, Alexander acted swiftly to secure his position. Understanding the dangers that lurked within his court and beyond, he moved against those who might challenge his right to rule. Through a series of calculated eliminations, Alexander ensured that no rival could threaten his reign. This period of consolidation was crucial, not only for stabilizing Macedon in the wake of Philip's death, but also for setting the stage for Alexander's ambitious plans for expansion. With his power secured in Macedon, Alexander turned his gaze to Greece, where city-states chafed under Macedonian hegemony. His approach was both swift and brutal, a lesson in power politics. The city of Thebes dared to revolt, seeing in Philip's death an opportunity. Alexander's response was merciless. In 335 BCE, Thebes was razed to the ground, its people sold into slavery, a stark warning to any who would question his authority. This act of savagery ensured that other Greek city-states fell into line. Their autonomy surrendered in exchange for peace and survival under Alexander's rule. In a masterstroke of diplomacy and power, Alexander established the League of Corinth in 337 BCE, a federation of Greek states with himself as the hegemon. This league was not just a military alliance against Persia, but a unification of Greece under Macedonian leadership, ensuring peace among the notoriously fractious Greek city-states. For the first time in history, Greece was united, setting the stage for the ambitious conquests that would follow. Alexander's vision extended beyond the mountains of Macedon and the seas of Greece. He dreamt of an empire that would span the known world, and with Greece united behind him, he was ready to march towards destiny. The consolidation of Alexander's power reveals a leader of exceptional strategic insight and ruthlessness, qualities that would define his approach to empire building. With Macedon secured and Greece unified under his banner, Alexander was poised to embark on a campaign of conquest that would reshape the ancient world. His actions during this crucial phase laid the groundwork for his legendary status, illustrating the blend of diplomacy, strategy, and sheer force that characterized his rule. In the spring of 334 BCE, Alexander the Great embarked on a campaign that would forever change the course of history. His army's crossing of the Hellespont was not merely a military maneuver, but a bold declaration of war against the mighty Persian Empire. As Alexander stepped onto Asian soil, he symbolically threw a spear into the ground, claiming the continent for the Greeks. This moment marked the start of Alexander's quest to overthrow Darius III and assert Macedonian supremacy over Persia. The first major confrontation between Alexander and the Persian Empire took place near the Granicus River. The Persian satraps, underestimating the young king's prowess, positioned their forces along the riverbank, awaiting the Macedonian advance. What followed was a fierce clash of ambition and steel. Alexander, displaying remarkable courage and tactical acumen, plunged into the heart of the battle. His leadership turned the tide, leading to a resounding Macedonian victory. The Battle of Granicus not only showcased Alexander's military genius, but also demoralized the Persian forces, signaling the beginning of the end for Darius III's reign. The victory at Granicus was not just a military triumph, but a psychological blow to Persian authority in Asia Minor. As news of Alexander's success spread, many cities, previously under Persian control, declared their allegiance to Alexander, welcoming him as a liberator. This early victory was crucial, providing Alexander and his army with the momentum needed to push deeper into Persian territory. With the gates of Asia Minor now open, Alexander's gaze was fixed on the vast expanse of the Persian Empire, ready for the challenges that lay ahead. In 332 BCE, Alexander turned his attention to Tyre, a prosperous island city and a key Persian naval base. Recognizing its importance for securing the eastern Mediterranean and ensuring safe passage to Egypt, Alexander demanded Tyre's surrender. However, the Tyrians refused, confident in their impregnable island fortress and its formidable walls. Undeterred, Alexander resolved to lay siege to the city, a decision that would lead to one of the most remarkable sieges in ancient warfare. The siege of Tyre presented a formidable challenge, as the city was situated on an island, some distance from the shore. Undaunted, Alexander ordered the construction of a massive causeway to reach the island, using rubble from the abandoned mainland city and timber from nearby forests. Despite facing fierce resistance from the Tyrian navy and setbacks such as storms that damaged the causeway, Alexander's forces persevered, showcasing their engineering prowess and resilience. After 7 grueling months, the siege reached its climax. Alexander's army, now equipped with siege towers and battering rams, made a final push against the city's defenses. The Tyrians fought bravely, but the relentless assault overwhelmed them. The fall of Tyre was clear evidence of Alexander's military innovation and determination. This pivotal victory not only secured Alexander's control over the eastern Mediterranean, but also demonstrated his willingness to go to extraordinary lengths to achieve his objectives. The siege of Tyre was a watershed moment in Alexander's campaign. With Tyre subdued, Alexander continued his march to Egypt, where he was greeted not as a conqueror, but as a liberator from Persian dominion. His pilgrimage to the oracle of Amun at Siwa would further elevate his status, as the oracle declared him a god-king, son of Zeus. This recognition not only solidified his divine right to rule in the eyes of his subjects, but also bolstered his authority across the empire. After the fall of Tyre, Alexander's path to Egypt was obstructed by the fortified city of Gaza, which, under the command of a bold eunuch named Battis, chose to resist Alexander's forces. This decision led to one of the notable sieges of Alexander's military campaign. Alexander approached Gaza in September 332 BCE and initiated a siege that showcased his military ingenuity and relentless determination. The city was strongly fortified, prompting Alexander and his engineers to construct a tall earthwork platform that extended as high as Gaza's walls, allowing them to deploy siege engines effectively against the city's defenses. Despite fierce resistance from Battis and his mercenaries, including a daring sortie that nearly succeeded in burning Alexander's siege engines, the Macedonians managed to maintain their siege operations. The turning point came when Alexander's navy arrived, bringing additional siege weapons that had been used during the capture of Tyre. This influx of artillery enabled Alexander to expand the earthwork and encircle the town more effectively. Sappers were also deployed to undermine the city's walls, further weakening Gaza's defenses. By October 332 BCE, the walls of Gaza had suffered significant damage, leading Alexander to launch a decisive assault that eventually overcame the city's defenses. The capture of Gaza was brutal. Approximately 10,000 men of fighting age were killed, and the women and children were sold into slavery, though their lives were spared. This siege demonstrated Alexander's strategic depth, his capability to adapt siege tactics to different challenges, and his ruthlessness in dealing with resistance. The fall of Gaza removed the last major obstacle on Alexander's march to Egypt, where he was welcomed as a liberator and declared a god by the oracle of Amun at Siwa, further solidifying his divine status among his subjects and troops. In 333 BCE, Alexander's campaign took a decisive turn at the Battle of Issus. Against all odds, he faced the mighty Persian king, Darius III, in a confrontation that would test his military genius. The battlefield, constrained by the sea and mountains, negated the Persians' numerical advantage, allowing Alexander to exploit his army's superior discipline and cohesion. In a bold move, Alexander led a charge directly against the Persian king, causing Darius to flee and securing a monumental victory for the Macedonians. 2 years after Issus, the stage was set for the ultimate showdown between Alexander and Darius at Gaugamela. Darius, seeking to reclaim his honor and empire, gathered an immense force, including the feared war elephants and chariots equipped with scythes. Alexander, undeterred by the daunting odds, meticulously planned his approach, confident in his ability to outmaneuver the Persian behemoth. On the 1st of October, 331 BCE, the Battle of Gaugamela unfolded, a confrontation that would seal the fate of the Persian Empire. Alexander's tactical brilliance was on full display as he countered the Persian army's sheer size with superior maneuverability and strategic insight. In a pivotal moment, Alexander's audacious charge caused Darius to flee, effectively shattering the Persian army's morale and cohesion. The victory at Gaugamela was not just a military triumph, but a masterstroke of strategy, marking the beginning of the end for the Persian Empire. The aftermath of Gaugamela was a turning point in history. Alexander's magnanimous entry into Babylon symbolized not just the fall of the Persian Empire, but the rise of a new era. As he took on the title of King of Asia, Alexander demonstrated not only his unparalleled military prowess, but also his vision for a unified empire that would blend the cultures of East and West. Gaugamela was more than a battle. It was the culmination of Alexander's quest for glory and the foundation of his legacy as one of history's greatest conquerors. In the early months of 330 BCE, Alexander set his sights on Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Persian Empire. Known for its immense wealth and splendid architecture, Persepolis symbolized the glory of the Persian kings. Alexander's march to the city was fraught with challenges, including treacherous mountain passes and determined Persian defenders. Yet under his leadership, the Macedonian army overcame these obstacles, reaching the gates of Persepolis, ready to claim the heart of the empire. Upon capturing Persepolis, Alexander's troops looted the city, seizing its vast treasures. The climax of their conquest came with the burning of the Persian royal palace, an act that marked the symbolic downfall of the Persian Empire. While some sources suggest the fire was a deliberate act of revenge, others propose it was an accident or even a drunken mistake. Regardless, the destruction of Persepolis was a turning point, signaling the irreversible decline of Persian power and the ascendancy of Alexander as the new ruler of Asia. As Alexander consolidated his control over Persia, Darius III's fate took a tragic turn. In a final act of betrayal, the once mighty king was assassinated by his own nobles in 330 BCE. His death marked the end of the Achaemenid dynasty and the complete collapse of Persian resistance against Alexander's conquests. Despite their rivalry, Alexander mourned Darius's ignoble end and sought to punish his murderers, displaying a complex mix of respect for his adversary and a desire for justice. In the wake of Darius's assassination, Alexander demonstrated his magnanimity by honoring the late king and ensuring the safety of his family. This act of clemency was part of Alexander's larger strategy to blend Macedonian and Persian cultures, fostering loyalty among his new subjects. By adopting Persian dress and customs, marrying Persian nobility, and incorporating Persians into his army, Alexander sought to create an empire that transcended the divisions of East and West, laying the foundation for the Hellenistic Age. The conquest of the Persian Empire not only showcased Alexander's unparalleled military genius, but also his ability to navigate the intricacies of power, diplomacy, and cultural integration. These scenes highlight key moments where Alexander's actions reshaped the ancient world, leaving a legacy that would endure far beyond his empire's borders. In 326 BCE, Alexander embarked on one of the most daring ventures of his military career, the invasion of the Indian subcontinent. Crossing the Indus River marked not only a geographical boundary, but also the entry into a land of unparalleled wealth and diversity. The operation was clear evidence of the Macedonian army's engineering skills and Alexander's ambition to expand his empire to the ends of the known world. As Alexander advanced into India, he was met with a tapestry of kingdoms and tribes, from the formidable Porus, who ruled the region between the Jhelum and Chenab rivers, to smaller chieftains and tribal leaders. Some chose to fight, testing Alexander's military genius against the might of war elephants and unfamiliar terrain. Others opted for diplomacy, recognizing Alexander's power and seeking his patronage. Through a combination of military might and strategic alliances, Alexander systematically brought these lands under his dominion. Among Alexander's encounters in India, the battle against King Porus stands out as clear evidence of his military prowess and his capacity for magnanimity. Despite the formidable challenge posed by Porus's elephants and the monsoon-swollen river, Alexander executed a masterful tactical maneuver to secure victory. Impressed by Porus's bravery and leadership, Alexander not only spared his life, but also granted him governance over even more territory, showcasing a blend of ruthlessness in battle and generosity in victory. The campaign in India pushed Alexander and his army to their limits. Faced with the prospect of endless warfare in unfamiliar lands, and recognizing the weariness of his troops, Alexander made the difficult decision to halt his eastward expansion at the Beas River. This moment marked both the zenith of Alexander's conquests and a turning point, as he shifted his focus to consolidating and governing the vast empire he had created. At the Beas River, Alexander's dream of reaching the world's end and the great outer sea was met with the reality of his army's limits. After years of relentless campaigning, his soldiers, worn by the continuous warfare and longing for their homeland, pleaded with Alexander to return. Faced with the prospect of mutiny and recognizing the toll his ambitions had taken on his loyal followers, Alexander agreed to turn back. This moment marked a pivotal point in Alexander's conquests, symbolizing the boundaries of his empire and the human limits to his divine aspirations. Alexander's campaign in India remains one of the most daring episodes of his life, showcasing his military genius, ambition, and the loyalty of his army. Yet it also reveals the limitations of imperial expansion and the inevitable challenges of overreach. Upon his return to Babylon in 323 BCE, Alexander's mind was teeming with plans for the future of his empire. His ambitions included the exploration and conquest of Arabia, the circumnavigation of Africa, and the consolidation of his vast territories. Babylon was to be the heart of his empire, a center of power, culture, and commerce that would link the East and West. Alexander's vision for his empire was as boundless as his conquests, showing his insatiable desire for greatness. In June of 323 BCE, at the age of 32, the invincible Alexander was struck down by an illness that left the world in shock. After days of fever and weakness, he succumbed, leaving an empire in mourning and a legacy in turmoil. The exact cause of Alexander's death remains a subject of speculation and debate among historians. Was it a natural ailment, the result of a wound, or something more sinister? The mystery of Alexander's death adds a poignant end to the tale of a ruler who seemed larger than life. Alexander's untimely death left a power vacuum that his empire could not withstand. Without a clear heir, his generals, the Diadochi, divided the empire among themselves, leading to a series of conflicts known as the Wars of the Diadochi. These battles fragmented Alexander's once unified realm into several Hellenistic kingdoms, including Egypt under Ptolemy, the Seleucid Empire in Asia, and the Antigonid dynasty in Macedon. Though divided, these kingdoms preserved and propagated the Hellenistic culture that Alexander had championed, each carving its own legacy from the remnants of his empire. Alexander's return to Babylon marked both the pinnacle of his achievements and the beginning of the end of his empire. His death and the subsequent division of his territories among his generals underscore the transient nature of power and the enduring impact of his legacy. As we reflect on the life and death of Alexander the Great, we see a figure who, in his quest for glory, shaped the course of history in ways that continue to resonate through the ages. His governance of an empire that stretched from the Balkans to the Indus River required innovative strategies and an understanding of diverse cultures. Alexander employed a dual system of administration, integrating Macedonian and local officials to manage the provinces. This approach not only facilitated effective governance, but also helped in securing the loyalty of conquered peoples. By respecting local customs and laws, Alexander ensured the smooth functioning of his vast empire, laying the groundwork for its prosperity. One of Alexander's most enduring legacies was the fusion of Greek and Eastern cultures, giving rise to the Hellenistic Age. Through policies that encouraged intermarriage, the establishment of Greek cities, and the spread of Greek language and culture, Alexander fostered an environment where diverse traditions could blend and flourish. This cultural integration not only enriched his empire, but also left a lasting impact on the civilizations that followed, blending ideas and innovations from across the known world. Alexander's conquests ushered in the Hellenistic Age, a period characterized by the spread of Greek culture across the Near East, Egypt, and into the Asian subcontinent. This era saw an unprecedented exchange of ideas, art, and science, leading to advancements in mathematics, astronomy, engineering, and philosophy. Cities founded by Alexander and his successors became centers of learning and culture, blending Greek and local traditions to create a rich, diverse cultural mix that would influence the Roman Empire and beyond. Alexander's military genius set new standards in warfare, with his tactics and strategies studied by military leaders throughout history. His innovations in siegecraft, logistics, and the integration of different arms of the military were revolutionary. Alexander's leadership style, characterized by boldness, strategic vision, and the ability to inspire loyalty, became a model for generations of commanders. His campaigns remain a cornerstone of military education, showing his enduring influence on the art of war. Alexander the Great's legacy extends far beyond the realms of warfare and empire building. In art and culture, his era marked a departure towards realism and emotional expression, influencing the development of Western art. His life and exploits have inspired countless works of literature, drama, and cinema, making him an enduring symbol of conquest and ambition. Alexander's dream of a world united under a common culture laid the groundwork for the Roman Empire and influenced the spread of Christianity. Today, his legacy is a complex mix of myth and history, reflecting the profound impact of his short but momentous life on the course of human civilization. Alexander the Great's conquests reshaped the ancient world, leaving a legacy that has endured through millennia. His vision of cultural fusion and his unparalleled military achievements have made him a historical figure whose life continues to fascinate and inspire. As we reflect on Alexander's impact, we see a legacy that transcends time, influencing not only the course of history, but also the realms of culture, art, and leadership. If you've been inspired by the story of Alexander, the strategies that won him an empire, or the legacy that outlived him, then join us on more historical journeys by subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to like and share this video with fellow history enthusiasts. Your support helps us bring more fascinating tales from the past into the spotlight. Together, let's keep exploring the stories that have made us who we are. Subscribe, share, and like, and stay tuned for our next adventure into history.